Now, if you're doing it because, you know what, there's a chance that we might get back together, or I just want to have a backup in case this one doesn't work out, then fucking no, grow up. Jesus Christ, what? All right, Q&A time. Now, this one comes in off the back of a question that I did, which was, can men and women actually be friends? And this is like a continuation. Maybe it's the next level. Maybe it's point 2.0. And that is, can men be friends with their ex? Can you stay in some kind of a relationship with your ex? And if you watched my last video about can men and women be friends, then the general response to that was, yes, of course you fucking can. Jesus Christ, what are you, a child? And maybe that's the thing. Mature men and women can be friends in a platonic, non-sexual relationship. It's some of the most enriching relationships and friendships I have are those I have with women. And I'm not trying to get in their pants. Not just because I'm married in a relationship, but because I've matured beyond my adolescent psychology, which just wanted to fuck everything. If you're still in that place, all power to you. If you're a grown-ass adult, but you're stuck in that psychology, and you think, maybe it's not serving me so well. Maybe I'd like to have an expanse of friends and depth of connection with those friends, regardless of their gender or sexuality or whatever it is. Then maybe take a look in the mirror, bro. And so this is the extension, really. Can a man be friends with his ex? Yes, absolutely, he can. If they are two mature adults who've moved past their triggers and past their kind of wounding and all the shit that perhaps led to the relationship breaking up. But not necessarily, because you're taking into account many things. If you're in a new relationship, that adds a whole different flavor to it. And you might very well be dealing with your partner's insecurities or your partner's simple requests that while we are forming and building this relationship, I would prefer it if you weren't in relationship with your ex. Now, if it's someone from 15 years ago, that's probably fine and might speak more to your partner's insecurities. It might speak to your behaviors that trigger and heighten their insecurities, like if you're untrustworthy and not dependable around, if this is a heteronormative relationship, women of the opposite sex. If it's a really fresh relationship, then it might be a case of, you know what, I'd like us to be able to have a relationship in the future. I can see right now within myself that's not that realistic or effective, or within you, or maybe it is for you, but you know what? I can see that that's potentially not the most amazing idea for my new partner right now. So, how about we fucking revisit this in 6 months or whatever it is? Now, I'll give you a personal example to this. My wife and I, when we first got together, we had many kinds of conversations, and I think in part this speaks to my emotional maturity at the time, which was fucking a hell of a lot, more than it had been years earlier. I'd got out of a fucking tough relationship in the sense that we were engaged and had an engagement break. My fiance at the time broke up with me out of the blue, fucking destroyed me, etc., etc. And when my wife and I started getting together, my take on my previous relationship was, man, I have so much respect for my ex because she saw that she couldn't marry me and she had the balls to say so before we went further down the line of planning the real fucking ins and outs of our wedding and committing money and shit like that. I hated it at the time and I had all these questions and so on, but when I could look back at it with so much respect and admiration for her for doing that, that must have been hard. Next was this. Whilst she broke my heart, I still have immense feelings towards that person. I loved her and was going to marry her. Just because she broke my heart, that doesn't mean I no longer have any care or positive feelings towards this person. If I didn't, that would probably speak to some wounding and some shit in me that I hadn't healed yet. So I saw absolutely at the time and still that I could definitely be friends with my ex. Now, to out this on the internet, are we friends? No, not really. For potentially many different reasons, I would absolutely be open to that because of where I'm at maturely. I can see absolutely that I could be platonic friends with that person and still have this massive amount of respect for her, but not in a way that I'm sexually attracted to her or want to have some kind of romantically love-based relationship with her. Not at all. So you've got to look at this as an individual, and then your individual components, partners, ex-partners, and then the context of your life and all that kind of stuff. But to the simple question of can men be friends with their exes? Yes, of course. But you've got to take into account all that stuff. Now, if you're doing it because, you know what, there's a chance that we might get back together, or I just want to have a backup in case this one doesn't work out, then fucking no, grow up. Jesus Christ, what? You can't do that. If you are living in a relationship and keeping someone in hold just in case, that one's safe and I know that, I'd like this one to work out, but just in case it doesn't, then you've got some growing up to do. There's fucking nothing short of that, brother. You don't get to set sail, but keep your ropes attached to the fucking port. Cut the ropes, burn the boats, and fucking sail forward into whatever is possible for you, all right? Ships are made for the ocean, not the safety of the harbour. So you can't keep tied back there just in case. That is disrespectful to yourself and to both partners, right? And that's a bullshit move. Hopefully that answers your question. If you've got your own Q&A for me, then hit my DMs and let me know. What question do you have for me? Please make it specific and precise. And we will support you in getting more out of the everyday and building that legendary integrity.